Good morning, Hart County High School. I'm Evelyn Holmes and I serve as the Cadet Battalion Commander of the Army JROTC Battalion. Today we pause to honor the veterans who have sacrificed their lives through their service to our nation in the armed services. Originating as Armistice Day to commemorate the end of World War I, Veterans Day is set apart to recognize all veterans of the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. Freedom has a cost. I hope today you will recognize the price others have paid for your rights guaranteed by our Constitution.
My name is Michael Carey. I served in the United States Navy and Marine Corps. At the time, I was a corpsman there, and I did search and rescue.
My name is Christopher Callaway. I was an E4 sergeant. I served 4 years active duty in the U.S. Air Force in Germany and North Carolina.
I am Chris Carter. I'm a Lieutenant Colonel, United States Army, retired. I served 6 years in the National Guard while I was in high school and college at University of Georgia, and then I served 20 years as an active duty infantry officer. I served in various places, Fort Bragg, North Carolina, Fort Benning, Fort Stewart, Fort Leavenworth, 3 tours in Iraq and 1 tour in Kosovo.
My name is Alan Tolbert. I was a specialist. I served for 6 years in the Georgia Army National Guard, and I was attached to the Alpha Battery 1st of the 214th here in Hartwell, Georgia.
My name is Brittaney Swafford and Senior Airman. I served 6 years at Warner Robins Air Force Base and 2 years of inactive.
Scott Fagan, Master Sergeant. 20 years. I was with 5th Special Forces Group, mainly for the majority, and I stayed in the Middle East. So.
Why I served for my family. And the branch I chose, I've always liked the water, and I like the Marine Corps and Navy both, so I combined both of them.
I served mainly because I had gone to North Georgia College and was in the Corps of Cadets there and saw the idea that I wanted to serve the country. And I chose the Air Force because I've kind of, I just like the Air Force and being around airplanes and those kind of things a little bit more, and it just more suited my style.
I chose to serve because I wanted to do something that was just something different. No one in my family was in the military, and I knew it would be a challenge, and I was up for the challenge. I chose the Air Force because I liked the job that was available and all that they had to offer.
Actually, in my senior year, I had decided to go active duty and almost signed with the Marine Corps, and also was talking to the Army recruiters, but decided to go with the Army National Guard because I could serve while I was in college. So I did that for 6 years.
I joined up because I didn't want to stay at home anymore. I needed to get out and do something different. I stayed because I fell in love with the way the military ran, the teamwork, the team behind it and everything. That's why I stayed.
I served, I grew up, my uncle was a Marine Corps aviator in Vietnam. My dad was also in the Army. And growing up, service was just something I always considered every young man should do at that time. It was a commitment to the country and dedication to the values that I grew up with. So when it was time to serve, I jumped at the opportunity. It developed me, and then I later wanted to serve as an officer, so I participated in ROTC at UGA.
One of the stories I can share with you is we was on a search and rescue mission, and we was in a river, and the objection was to do a particular grid on a search area to find something. And we was down probably about 30 feet, and we were swimming in teams, and my buddy was on my back, and I was doing navigation. I was reading a compass and a clock at the same time, and it was salt water and fresh water mixed together, brine water. What happened was we were swimming along the bottom, and my left hand struck something and was very soft. And what I hit, I don't know, but it was big enough to, its propulsion turned us in the water like we was nothing. So, you know, one of the biggest things I've done was that. That was always remembered to me when I was diving at nighttime.
When I was overseas in the desert, I don't know if you guys have been overseas in that area, but it's really hot. So it was 140 degrees, and we had to work on the aircraft in that heat. And I was known as the dirty airman because when I did work, I just came out and I was covered, black, grease, dirty. So that was always fun, a little joke. But what I remember most about that is there was a specific time that we needed to get the aircraft back in flight. And I worked with a bunch of guys, and I was the smallest, and there was a component that was broken on the aircraft, and I was the only one that could fit back there and get the part repaired quickly. Otherwise, we were going to have to take out a lot of pieces, and the aircraft was going to be grounded for a while. So I was able to shimmy back there, get the part changed and fixed, and we were able to get the aircraft back and working. And it was just a really fun, exciting time to know that you had to have a part in something bigger and greater than yourself.
I think one of the biggest impact moments, I got to spend some time in Norway training with the NATO composite forces. Not a lot of people get that type of experience. Got to see the Northern Lights, got to spend you know, a while 300 miles north of the Arctic Circle in wintertime. So it was definitely an experience for a Georgia boy to spend some time in Norway.
Is when we were in Iraq, and we were moving north toward Baghdad, and we stopped off. I can't remember the town, but it was where there were some very bad things that happened from Saddam's son and the local concrete maker's factory. And as we're in the back of the factory observing the grounds from where had been very bad things that happened, a village came out, and a whole bunch of people were walking toward me and of course my Iraqi counterparts, and we're like, are we in trouble? And next thing you know, they get up to us, and he drops on his knees, and he holds my legs, and he says, thank you. He says, now that you're here, we know that Saddam is gone, and we are free.
When I was in Kosovo, this was during 9/11, I was in a maintenance position where I came out of a brigade maintenance meeting, and right when we walked out of the meeting, we had these big jumbo TVs. We did have TVs in Kosovo. And it was right when right after the second plane had flown into the towers. We saw that, and we immediately knew it was a terror incident. What was neat though was the area in Kosovo that we were located with, or stationed at, working with, that was a predominantly Muslim population. So of course we had to go through the drill of bringing out security and making sure our base was secured. But that night, the Kosovar people came out, the entire town, and had a candlelight vigil, recognizing the American services that were there protecting them. And then the rest of the time in Kosovo, anytime we would go out among the populace, it was really neat to see them continue to show their support for America.
Probably the best story was when I was stationed at Pope Air Force Base in North Carolina. Going around the flight line or the runway at Pope Air Force Base, the runway there's a road that I had to drive around to get to my duty station every day. And one morning there was a C-5 Galaxy cargo aircraft that was loaded down with probably 15, 20 helicopters on it at least. But it was so packed that a C-5 would literally have to back up to where the back tires were on the edge of the runway, and then they would have to run the engines almost all the way up to full. And there were traffic lights to stop traffic at the end of the road so that nobody would fly and drive into the jet blast and get knocked off. Well, I got caught by the red light that day, and I saw the C-5 turning and backing up, and I was like, I'm going to be late to work. I was stressing because of that. And then this guy comes running past my car, and he's got on earphones and a Walkman, and he's just jogging. And apparently the music was up loud enough because he never saw the red light. He'd never heard the C-5 engine screaming at the top of its lungs. And I could tell you exactly where the jet blast was because he's running like this, then all of a sudden, he hit the jet blast and knocked off into the ditch. And that still kills me, just thinking about that every day. When I think about that, just right into the ditch. It was funny. That's probably one of the funniest things that occurred when I was in the military.
Serving has taught me discipline, structure, and hard work.
I think serving impacted my life. It gained a greater appreciation of what we have in America. Along with a couple mission trips I did when I was in middle school, went to Haiti, and then deploying overseas as an officer or in the Army to Iraq and Kosovo really allowed me to see the benefits that we do have in America and the freedoms that we enjoy. It's not only the freedoms, but just the unique conditions of our country under our Constitution.
Making a difference. I mean, that's basically it, just making a difference, making the world a better place for everyone.
It's really shaped how I look at everything, how I deal with other people, how I work with other people, how I deal with stressful situations, remain calm and just get the job done. And just plow through and do what you need to do to solve problems.
It's given me an awful lot of benefits. The nice thing is I've been able to, it paid for my college at Georgia State, and I was able to get a house on essentially a teacher salary because I'm a veteran. It's also given me a sense of having done something for greater than myself. It kind of inspired me to be a teacher because service members, they sacrifice an awful lot and they want to help out, and teaching just kind of, to me, falls into that idea of helping other people and being able to be of assistance to others.
It structured me. It gave me leadership. It taught me to survive.
Hello from Iraq. This is CW4 Ed Carmen, husband of Susan Carmen, Hart County High School. Have a good Veterans Day.